welcome to our fantasy draft franchise in MLB The Show 2025. Just like I said, we're going to start a franchise, but we're going to do a fantasy draft at the beginning. We're not going to pick in the fantasy draft. We are going to simulate whatever pick we get. We're just going to simulate all the way through. In the next episode, we're going to go take a deep dive into the actual players that we have on the team, kind of talk about strategy and stuff like that. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick which team we are going to be using. To make it more of a challenge, we are going to be going with the Miami Marlins. Obviously, the challenge is they had the lowest team budget in the entire game at 80. So we're going to have to be very strategic with how we spend our money. Free agency, trade targets, locking up young stars if we have them, and how we get them. Being really good in the draft. That's going to be our avenue to success. But a little bit about the Miami Marlins. They became a team in 1993, and obviously they're still a team to today. They used to be the Florida Marlins, but they got rebranded to the Miami Marlins. In their history, they've had 4 playoff appearances. They've won 2 pennants, and then obviously the 2 World Series titles, the one in 1997 and the one in 2003. They've had a lot of good players over the years. They've had Miggy, they've had Stanton, Josh Beckett, Dontrelle Willis, Hanley Ramirez, Cliff Floyd, and then probably the best pitching prospect or best pitcher in their history. Obviously lost his life at an early age, but Jose Fernandez. But let's go ahead and get started. Their stadium is beautiful. It's going to be a fantastic start to the franchise. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the fantasy draft. See what pick we get. So let's see. We are going to have the 21st pick.
21.
So, let's go ahead and simulate it. Let's see who we got. We're going to have Jordan as the first pick. So we're going to go ahead and keep everything on manual. The way we're going to do gameplay is, well, first and foremost, we're going to set this to situation importance on high. And then obviously the earliest we're going to get in is the 7th inning. I'm not really going to play any highlight moments. That's not really that important right now. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see how the team looks, and if we have a couple superstars, maybe we'll change that. Go for some no hitters. Go for some complete games if the opportunity arises. So go ahead and start in spring training. So our ace is Max Fried. Let's go ahead and look at this. We'll go ahead and look through the rosters. Kind of all we're going to be doing today. Go ahead and look through the roster, kind of skim through it, and then, like I said, next episode we're going to do a deep dive. We're going to talk about kind of the ideas of what we're going to do. Are we going to be sellers? Obviously, that's going to depend on how we do by the deadline, but are we going to look to sell off key pieces? What prospects are we looking at? They're going to be coming up the pipeline that were really intriguing for us. Obviously, our big guns, our superstars, our Max Frieds, our Jordans, Carlos Rodon. So we'll be talking about all these guys in the next episode. But right now, we're just going to go looking at. So our starting pitching looks pretty solid at the top. Max Fried, Rodon, McClanahan. So that's really good. Our bullpen. We're a little older in the bullpen.
Welcoming proud Texan and the 41st President of the United States, George H.W. Bush.
We have some solid pieces, but it definitely needs some work. Closer, we'll see how that works out with Luke Little. Our catchers don't really have much. We do have a couple of intriguing pieces. First base, we got Tristan Casas, Josh Bell. So we might need help there. We might be good depending on how Tristan Casas goes. But we have some pretty intriguing rookie prospects at second base, it looks like. Third base, again, another intriguing prospect. We're going to be super young. We got Bo Bichette. Jordan, left field. We'll see if he's going to be left field or DH when we go into our deep dive. But let's see, we got decent center fielders, and we have a solid right fielder. So we have some holes that we're going to need to address either early on, later on in the draft for sure. Maybe we'll most likely have to take advantage of the Rule 5 draft, stuff like that, get people on the cheap, because obviously our budget's not very high. So the team's looking solid. Obviously, we're going to have some work to do. We got some people that are coming up on contract extensions. So we will have to see what we're going to do. So in the next episode, we are going to deep dive, talk about how we're going to do things, when we're going to do things, and kind of get an overall game plan of how we'll set up the franchise and the videos and stuff like that. So I will see y'all on the next video. Have a good day.